welcome to my channel. Welcome to Claiborne. So I was going to talk to you a little bit about some more garden planting. Y'all know me that have followed my channel know that I try to plant with a lot of natives. I want to do what's good for the pollinators, what's good for the land. I just want to stick with natives as much as possible. They're less maintenance, cheap, very easy to seed collect from. They're low fuss. They don't care about poor soil. All they need is a little sun and a little water, and they grow for you. And so they're just very low maintenance plants. I don't have to stake them. I don't have to do anything to them. Just let them have space to grow. So I have a little backyard area that I fenced off, and I was trying to figure out what I was going to do with this backyard space. So I built a Blair Witch fence around it, and I planted it in clover seed, which I planted my entire yard in clover seed because I also am low maintenance and don't want to mow. So I grow clover to feed my rabbits, and I pull the grass out. So it's just white Dutch clover is all that grows in my yard, or so we're trying. And so far it's working. The clover's up. We finally got some rain and the clover's up. So we've got white clover amongst green clover leaves, white clover flowers amongst the green leaves. And so I have this little backyard space. It's about 20 feet by, I don't know, 13, 14 feet. And what am I going to do with it? So you can see the color of my cabin. This is going to be a garden that's right up against my cabin. It's kind of hard to tell right now because the sun's not hitting this spot. But I want you to see, I thought about all these different colors. And then I thought, look how beautiful that is. Look how striking the white. Now, it may not be as striking as, say, a deep purple. Deep purple against this color is very beautiful. But in its own right, it's still very striking. And it'll have the white clover Dutch as a base. So let me take you back and show you my weedy mess back there and show you what I have in mind. So all of these here are native fleabanes. So they're already established, they're already growing here, and they're just about to bloom. And fleabane stays bloomed out from May through August. So that's a long bloom time. And believe it or not, we really do get a lot of pollinators on this fleabane. And so I think I'm gonna leave the fleabane. It's gonna have these beautiful, incredibly tall stems, and then these delicate white to very pale purple blossoms. But they do fall under the white native flowers in my wildflower book. So we're going to leave the fleabane, and I'll take you over and show you the clover that's going to be at the base of this garden. So we've all avoided stepping here because we're letting this clover get established. But you can see just literally thousands of baby clover coming up. This is all clover. And then, I'm sorry, I'm in the shadow because this morning's sun behind me. Then we have the white flowers with the green centers. So this gets about this tall off the ground. So the base of that garden back there will be very full with these delicate little white flowers. As a kid, I can remember taking dozens of these flowers and tying them together, and then me and my friends would all wear chaplets all day. So my rabbits absolutely love it. So it's a very healthy base for us to have around here. This way I don't have to mow grass. I'm just growing clover instead of mowing lawns. The other day I looked up, what does mowing lawns do? And I forget how many millions of gallons of fuel it costs, and it puts more pollution in the air than, say, driving a car 20 miles. I don't know, there's all kinds of stuff to grass mowing that is so unhealthy for the environment. However, if you're in the city and you have ordinances, you have to stick to certain things, you know, that you can or can't have in your yard. So I'm out here in the country, I'm rural, I can grow whatever I want, and I choose to grow this white Dutch clover. So What flowers am I going to choose? What flowers indeed. Let's go over and take a look at some natives. So here we are in the Monarch Way station. I have to be very careful where I step because we just put in about 30 more Asclepia. So I have to be very careful where I step in here. This is not really a walking garden. It's a pollinator garden. Okay. Why can't I have butterfly feet? Okay, so want you to see how this looks together. So here we have the yarrow, which is just gloriously growing in this spot right here. And all I did was transplant a very, very tiny couple of little babies. And this has grown massively tall. They say in my book that it'll get 2 feet tall. Well, I can tell you this is coming up on 4 feet. It's getting incredibly tall. And then I want you to see the little oxeye daisies right in front of it. Now look at it together. Now then you can picture this in front of that brown cabin mixed in with daisy fleabane, which is also a member of the daisy family, and then the white clover at the bottom. So what do you think? What do you think? How's that going to look? I think it's going to be beautiful. It's an all-white garden, which normally you would think, wow, that'd be really boring. But I don't think so. I think this is just going to look native and countrified, and it's going to be incredible for the pollinators, and it's going to be really, really good for the environment, and it costs me absolutely nothing. I can just move yarrow and the daisies, and the fleabane already grows there. And the others, I'm being bombarded with butterflies. The others, the fleabane already grows there, so I don't have to move it. So the only thing I'll be moving in is the yarrow and the little oxeye daisies. And these just keep going from May through August or September. So it's going to be a garden for the entire season, no maintenance, and very striking up against the brown. I think it would also look pretty if I add a few native rocks in there. I just think it will give it some height and some interest. So now I'm going to go back and I'm going to pull everything out of there except for the fleabane, and then we'll go find some natives. Okay, so this is about 40 minutes later, and I just got in there and pulled up all the stuff that we didn't want, left the fleabane. I think I left 1 violet, I left some rocket out front for the very early pollinators, and 1 thistle for the extremely late feeders and pollinators. I hung our bottles on the fence for several reasons. 1, the bottles, when we very first bought the property, our very young grandson, pretending to be a pirate, ran around the property and he collected bottles as his booty. So we hung on to them all this time, 3 years, and now they're going to hang on the fence for a couple of reasons. 1, they're from our grandson and we love him and we love the bottles that he found. In the South, it is believed that hanging bottles on trees wards off evil and bad luck. And there are places in Missouri, especially along I-70 highway, where road crews will hang bottles and cans from trees to remind passersby that you may think it's just 1 bottle or just 1 can you're tossing out, but when everybody does it, this is what it looks like. And so they hang them there, and psychologically it tells you to hang on to your bottle or can until you get home and not to just randomly toss them out. So all the way around, the bottles are kind of cool. All right, now all we have to do is fill in some of this empty space with our yarrow and our daisies. So let's go find some. So your new little darlings probably won't be much bigger than that. That's a good size for transplanting. Any taller and they get a little stressed. if I could, you guys, if I could go back in time, I would have skipped secretarial school and would have went for a way to take inner city empty lots and alleyways, and with the help of some neighborhood interested volunteers, I would have tore out unwanteds and left behind desirables, natives, pollinators, and beauty. And I would have made my career out of that. I think I would have really loved doing that. I know you can do it now, but I'm a little bit old and don't really want to chase down permits at this point in my life and travel. I don't want to travel. I want to stay right here and do it. But this just goes to show that you can have a garden that this literally cost me nothing more than the clover seed. You may not be able to drag sticks out of the woods and put up a Blair Witch fence, but you can plant natives. You can just look up online what grows in your zone natively, decide the color of your house, what's going to look good up against it, see what your height limits are in your area, and order seed. Seed is what, $3.50 a pack, and you can absolutely order native seeds. And a kitty cat. So the only wildlife I displaced was lady beetles and assassin bugs, and that tells me that there was a lot of aphids and whatnot over here. I laid the grass that I did pull next to my in between this garden and my veggie garden, so the ladybugs and assassin bugs will move over to the veggie garden now. And patience is key for a garden like this. It's not going to look beautiful overnight. This is going to look decent by midsummer. It's going to look pretty good by fall, and it's going to look spectacular next growing season, next May. So very, very little cost, and the only maintenance I would say is maybe once in the spring, come out and pull out what might be growing that you don't want, or if you're getting too many of one thing, pull it out. Give it away to friends if they're interested. Pick out a color that looks good up against your house. Be sure and grow plants that are native and will thrive in your growing zone. And have patience. Patience is key. Much love and light. Thanks for sticking with me through this video. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so and hit the like button for me. And I will talk to you next time.